This year, we want to train upwards of 1,000. We want to manage expectations. This is all we do. Colleges do a whole bunch of different things. We do one thing. We train people, and then we employ them. We can train in over 72 different technologies, and our clients can look at that. Fortune 500 company can look at that, and they can look at it just like a restaurant menu. And so they can say, okay, I need the individual to know this and this and this, and can you do that? And we go, yeah, we can do that. And so then we now know exactly what the client wants, and that's exactly what the client's going to get. So for the client, it's fantastic. They are now a stormer, as we call it, and they're a stormer for life.
We're here with Marine Corps veteran and Director of Veteran Affairs for SkillStorm, John Tansill. John, thanks for joining us today on the show.
Thanks so much, Brian. I really appreciate the invite to be on your show.
Absolutely. And just happened to come across a LinkedIn post that SkillStorm and training veterans and stuff like that. But what is SkillStorm? Can you just share a quick overview of what you guys do and what your role is with the company?
Yeah, sure. So my name's John Tansill. I am a Marine Corps veteran. I do run the veteran programs at SkillStorm. And what SkillStorm does in one sentence is we accelerate opportunity for veterans and non-veterans in software development and cyber by recruiting, training, and employing and then deploying entry-level IT talent.
That's awesome. And in your role, you're traveling around the country to different bases and you're recruiting veterans to come through the program. As you're doing that, what's the ideal veteran that you're looking for?
The ideal veteran is somebody that is really passionate about wanting to be in the IT industry, particularly software development or cyber. It's a lot of hard work. It's a heavy lift. You're not going to get your hands dirty, but it is a heavy lift. There's a lot. Your intellectual curiosity, your willingness to work hard. As your drill sergeant or drill instructor would have said, be willing to burn the midnight oil. To make sure that you make it through our training, because you do have to qualify to get into our training programs, no matter which program it is. We test your social skills. We test via an aptitude test, and we also test via one of our tech trainers giving you an oral quiz for 30 minutes. So it's really, for everybody that wants to get trained, we got to make sure you've got the aptitude to learn. So that's really how we go about it. And so the perfect person is, again, somebody with passion, somebody that is willing to relocate. It might not be, from Bangor, Maine to San Diego, but at least be able to give me a region of the United States that they want to work in, so that I can work with them, or one of our 9 vet recruiters will help work with them, to get them into a position that is both good for us and good for them, because we want to manage expectations. That if you tell me that I've got to work, in Louisville, Kentucky, because that's where I'm going, that's where my home is, I'm going to go like, well, I don't have any clients in Louisville, Kentucky. So I want to manage everybody's expectations as far as that's concerned. The other is that, if you're further on in your life and you've got, you're married and you've got, children, and you've got mortgages, and you've got car payments, and you've got a boat payment, and, I'm going to probably tell you to really sit down and think hard about the financial calculus about, coming to SkillStorm, because we pay very well. We pay the best of any of the firms that try to do what we do, and nobody does what we do because nobody does it better than we do. But the point is that I'm going to tell them, look, you've got it with entry-level work. For the most part, comes entry-level pay, and so you've got to think that, even though it's really good for entry level, if you're used to being, making E7, E8, E9 pay, or lieutenant or captain pay in the service, I'm going to sit down and have a long talk with you, and you might decide that it is right for you, which is great. But for the most part, It's people without a lot of things going on in their life that they can concentrate on the technology and the position that we're going to try to get them.
So these programs that you guys offer, is that something that vets can use their GI Bill for, or do you guys use grants and stuff like that to help veterans pay for training?
Our training is free. If you're still on active duty, we are on Army Cool and Air Force Cool, and Coast Guard Cool actually. And the other is that we have the two large programs we have are our next gen program. That's for people with a bachelor's degree and who already know how to code. Okay, that's the next gen program, and that program we actually pay the individuals to get trained. We pay them $20 an hour to get trained. The other program is the Vet Tech program. The Vet Tech program, they don't need a college degree. If they have one, that's fine. And they don't need a ton of IT experience. Obviously, they have to know how to use a computer, but they don't need to be a programmer per se yet. They don't have to know how to code. If they do, that's great. They can use their Vet Tech program if they're still on active duty. They can do it as a skill bridge program. If they've already left active duty, that's fine too. You do need 1 day left of your GI Bill. We don't touch the GI Bill. Like I said, the training is free. The VA doesn't touch their GI Bill, but it's a rule the VA has that with that 1 day of the GI Bill, you can collect during our 16-week Vet Tech training that which is 640 hours, by the way, add it all up, that you can collect BAH. Now, it's not BAH of where you live. So if you live in San Francisco, you're not getting $4,000 a month. Okay. It's because our training is virtual. It's BAH of an E5 with dependents on a national average. So it's about $850 a month. But again, which you and I both know, that's beer, pizza, and gas money. But the thing is, at least it's something during that 16 weeks. But again, the training itself is at no cost to the individual for the Vet Tech program or for the Next Gen program.
Sure. So other than it's free, I mean, what's the biggest difference between SkillStorm and like a local college? Because, local college, if they're like, for me, I'm in Milwaukee, I want to go somewhere local, is there the same opportunity if I go to that college as there would be if I went with SkillStorm?
There absolutely is not the same opportunity. This is all we do. Colleges do a whole bunch of different things. We do one thing: we train people, and then we employ them. Now I caveat that with the Vet Tech program because in the Vet Tech program, I'm not guaranteeing you a job. I am saying that we are a preferred provider of the VA program, so we have a lot of skin in the game. And what I mean by that, if we train you and you graduate and you get certified, if we don't find you work in the IT field within 180 days of your graduation date, that we owe the VA a financial penalty. Okay, and now it's a team effort for the Vet Tech program. And what I mean by that is, yes, we're trying to find you work in the IT field. At the same token, you have to be looking also. You have to be scouring Indeed, scouring Career Builder, scouring Yahoo Jobs, looking at LinkedIn. You're trying to find work in the IT field. So are we. Our goal together is to get you a position in the IT field. Who it is, I'm not proud, about, I'm not too proud to make sure that hey, if you find something, I'm not going to go like, oh, I'm disappointed that you found something before I could find you something. I'm not like that. We need everybody involved, you and SkillStorm itself. We all need to work together to find you a position. That position will be somewhere in the United States, and it's usually our positions are with Fortune 500 companies, for the most part.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I mean, I think people should want to find their own job too, because they're taking responsibility and ownership for that and not relying on just, an organization to place them somewhere that they might not even like in the end anyways.
Right. And we're going to help on the vet tech program, and the next gen program, we're going to help the individual with their resume, with mock interviews. We're going to prepare them to go on a job interview. So whether it's we found the interview for them or they found it themselves, it's not like, the person graduates from the program and all of a sudden it's just, okay, we're hands off, it's fire and forget. No, that's not the case at all. Because like I said, we have a lot of skin in the game financially to make sure we find that vet tech individual a position because we're a preferred provider of the VA program. On the next gen side, the nice thing about the next gen program for those with a college degree and who already know how to code, and with the next gen, you do have to qualify to get in. Same thing, social skills, the aptitude test, and the tech screen with it's a 30-minute oral quiz with one of our trainers. But the thing is, we don't start a cohort with next gen unless we have a demand signal from a client. So we don't even start recruiting for that until we get a demand signal from a client, because we can train in over 72 different technologies, and our clients can look at that. Fortune 500 company can look at that, and they can look at it just like a restaurant menu. And so they can say, okay, I need the individual to know this and this and this, and can you do that? And we go, yeah, we can do that. And so then we now know exactly what the client wants, and that's exactly what the client's going to get. So for the client, it's fantastic. They're not taking something off the shelf that's kind of right. It's going to be exactly the way they want it. And they're going to approve the curriculum before we even start recruiting. So once we go start recruiting, we know how many people they're going to need, okay? And then we go recruit for that cohort. They have to qualify, but then we start the training. The great thing is, even before the first day of the training, the individual that we're recruiting is going to know who they're going to go work for, meaning what company, where that's going to be, and what technology they're going to learn. So the next gen and the vet tech program are completely separate programs. Completely, they're much different. And so the vet tech program is for individuals without a degree and with not a lot of tech experience. Obviously, they have to be a veteran. Now, I did say, all right, if you have a college degree, that's great. If you don't, that's great. But if you do have one, and I'm talking to people that they got out of the military and they went and got a degree, and they got a degree in something that maybe they shouldn't have done, or maybe they changed their mind and said, hey, this tech stuff, I kind of like it, or they have decided they got a degree and the job prospects really aren't that good with this degree. How many military history jobs are there in the United States? So now they've got a degree now, and they during a time they've learned how to code, right? And I don't care where they learned how to code. They could have taught themselves. They could have gone to a boot camp. They could have gone to county college. They could have minored in it in college. They could have majored in it. They could have been a STEM student in engineering and minored in computer science. I don't care how they learned it, but they do have to know how to code. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, they don't have to be a 10. They have to be at least a 5, though, because the training is so fast. The training is 12 weeks long. And so for them to learn all this technology at the speed at what we teach it, they've got to really know how to code. Otherwise, they're just going to get run over. It's just going to be too much for them, and they're going to end up failing out. But if they don't, it's a fantastic program because, like I said, they're going to know all this stuff before they even start their first day. Who they're going to be working for, where it's going to be, and what they're going to learn. And then they're going to go on site for us and work for the client, okay, that wanted this. And they're going to be a SkillStorm, we call them a stormer, on site. And so they're going to be a SkillStorm employee working for a Fortune 500 company, doing the technology we taught them to do that the company wanted them to learn, and they're going to work for us for a period of 2 years. Now, they're going to make decent money the first year, and we do give them, if they're doing well on site, they'll get a bump up the second year. The coolest thing about the program, or the icing on the cake, is at the end of the second year, we say to that Fortune 500 company, hey, do you like Brian? And if they say he's fantastic, we'll say that's great. You can keep him. And we don't charge them any money for it. So our goal is that we train you so well, and that you treat that 2 years like a job interview, like a 2-year job interview, so that you're bringing your A game every day to the office, that they don't want you to leave at the end of 2 years, that they're going to offer you a very competitive pay package, and we don't charge them a penny to take you away from us as a full-time employee. That's our goal. Our goal is that to us, that's success, that you end up going to work for one of our Fortune 500 clients as
That's
a full-time
awesome.
employee of them. Yep. So that's next gen. The vet tech program, again, we're trying to find you work. It's a team effort. It is, at least as far as where we're looking, it's Fortune 500. Okay. And again, with the vet tech program, you're going to have in any cohort that we're going to have. And by the way, in 2023, our goal is to train 1,000 people, through the vet tech program, transitioning service members and vets through the vet tech program. So we're starting 2 cohorts every month. We're starting cohorts in AWS DevOps, in cyber, in Appian, and in Java. Okay, we are waiting for the VA to approve our Salesforce curriculum. Once they do, that'll be a 5th one. Every month we will be teaching AWS DevOps, and then we're going to rotate the other 3: Java, Appian, and cyber. Sorry. And then, but anyway, so that's the vet tech program. Do you have any questions about what I know? I just went through a lot of material. Do you have any questions for me, Brian?
I mean, you had a lot of great things to say there. On how I was comparing the next gen opportunity was kind of like the Matrix, where they plug it in and
Right.
you're giving them exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's a huge advantage over anything else because you know where you're going, you know what you're going to be doing. You're not guessing, you're not, trying to figure things out. You already have that pictured in your mind, and you're almost set up for success on both sides.
Yeah. And the other is that, you did ask about the training. And I just wanted to, give kudos to our training department. And we have right around 35 trainers. They are our employees. This is not something we outsource. And the other is that the same trainers that teach vet tech, the same trainers that teach next gen, are the same trainers we teach for universities. Okay, we teach for Florida State, we teach for Florida International, we teach for the University of Central Florida, we teach for the University of Jacksonville, we teach for North Dakota State, we teach for Cal State Fullerton, we teach for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, we teach for the University of Tampa, New Jersey Institute of Technology, Ball State, and so obviously we teach our certification courses for these schools, and these schools aren't going to let us do what we do if we're not really good at it. Okay. And so I said to you about the next gen, because we've trained you so well that you're going to do well on site. That's our goal. Our goal, when you're talking about Fortune 500 clients, they are very demanding and they're also very unforgiving, right? If we start sending them mediocre people that are mediocre trained, they might look the other way with 1 or 2, but if that starts becoming 3 or 4, they're going to stop, don't bother anymore, right?
Absolutely.
That's obviously something we want to avoid at all costs. So that's why our vetting process is difficult to get in. That's why our training is hard, because we want to make sure you're really successful on site. And so that's why, when you first asked me what's my perfect candidate, again, I go back to passion and, you need to really want to be in the IT field. You want to be a developer or, a cyber professional. If you're doing this because, it's better than, doing something else, that's not a good reason, that there's no heavy lifting or I'm not going to get my hands dirty. I'd rather do that. Well, no, I want you to want this really badly, that you're willing to work till midnight if you're getting behind in class, to make sure that you keep up with the class. It's, you and I, we're both in the Marine Corps, right? And so, you just do and work as hard as you need to keep up.
Yep. So let's say, I'm a veteran. I'm on base right now. I'm looking at EAS and in the next year or sooner. What how far ahead should I be looking at something like this? Should I be talking to you right now before I'm a year out, or like what's your
Yeah,
ideal time?
right around 12 months is a perfect time, because what we can do is we offer 12 free courses on our website, and we call them micro courses. But one of them is like we have an introduction to AWS, introduction to Salesforce, introduction to ServiceNow, introduction to Pega, introduction to cyber, introduction to app development, and they're like 20 to 30 hour courses. You're not going to be an expert. It's the 30,000 foot view of AWS. It's the 30,000 foot view of Salesforce or ServiceNow or Appian or Pega. But what it's going to do, it's going to give you a good idea about, oh, I'd like to, that's kind of cool. I'd like to maybe study that. But the most important thing on one of our free courses is Introduction to Coding. Okay. Why is that important? It's a 90-hour course. Our training team put together all these courses. It's They're self-paced. These aren't with instructors. Again, they're free. But the thing about the Introduction to Coding course is that if you already know how to code and it's been a while, you're gonna get the rust off, okay? Because it's going to cover object-oriented programming. It's going to cover introduction to Java. It's going to cover relational databases and SQL, and it's going to cover data structures. Okay, so it's 90 hours. It's basically a semester course. It's going to take you, if you concentrate on it, it's going to take you a month to a month and a half to finish it if you take it in its entirety. The reason I say that is because you do have to qualify for either Next Gen and you have to qualify for VetTech. But if you've taken Introduction to Coding, it's going to help you on that tech screen with one of the trainers, whether you're VetTech or Next Gen. The other is that by taking the Introduction to Coding early on when you're 12 months out, if you do decide to do VetTech as our skill bridge at 180 days out, now you've got a little bit of experience because you just finished Introduction to Coding. Now you're going to go into the VetTech course, right? Because VetTech, when the VA made it, they made it 180 days out. You can do it on active duty from your ETS, EAS, or EAOS, whatever service you're in, basically the day you take your uniform off. And so is SkillBridge, right? SkillBridge and VetTech, same, 180. So we're a DoD SkillBridge provider. You can just overlap the VA VetTech program right on top of it. Again, what's the biggest and toughest thing to do with SkillBridge? Get your command's approval to let you go for 16 weeks. Because that's how long our VetTech program is. Again, it's 640 hours of training. And so you do that. Now, you don't want to do it too early because you're learning something brand new. The last thing you want to do is do it too early. Matter of fact, we won't let you do it too early. And here's the reasoning behind that. I don't need you to learn something you've never done before or you've got not a lot of experience in. And all of a sudden, you finish the program, you graduate, you get certifications, and you still owe the Navy 3 years. I mean, excuse me, 3 more months, 90 days. Now you're not going to use anything we taught you for 90 days. Well, you're going to forget a third of or maybe more of what we just taught you. And now all of a sudden, you finally get a job and you go on site, and they're going to like, who trained you? What happened? Why don't you know this? And well, you did, but you forgot it. So where I'm going, Brian, is that we'll make sure that you don't do it too early, but that at the same token, you don't do it too late. Okay, so that you graduate from the VetTech program as close to your end date of the day you take your uniform off as possible. And we realize, hey, if you're getting out of the service, you need that last 2 weeks to out process, right? You got to go to medical, you got to go to dental, you got to go to the education office. The first sergeant gives you a sheet. You got to get everybody to sign off on each one of those little blocks, and he's going to rip your head off if you don't have each of those blocks signed, as you're approaching the last day of your service. And so the thing is that we realize that. So we calculate all this in before, we let you enter a VetTech course because we want the timing and again, it's not going to be perfect, but we want it to be as good as possible. Okay.
Absolutely.
And so that way, when you graduate, and if we or you found a job for, in the IT field, you leave the service and you then go ahead and start, on site using exactly what you just learned from us. And the key thing there is now you're using it, right? You're not waiting, long time, for it to occur. Two other things, real quick, Brian, about SkillStorm, is that once somebody goes on site with us for either for vet tech or for the next gen program, and they're now on site, we they are now a stormer, as we call it, and they're a stormer for life. And it's kind of like Marine for life, Soldier for life. Well, they're a stormer for life, and what that enables them to do. Let's say they did AWS DevOps, and they got their cloud practitioner, and they got solutions architect as an example, and they're now certified in that, and now they're doing that on site as a vet tech individual, and the thing about being a stormer for life is all those other certification courses that we offer, they can take those for free themselves. Okay, so we call that stormer for life. They can, over the course of the next few years, if Salesforce interests them, if they want to add that to their, to their to their expertise, if they want to add, CompTIA, whatever it is that they didn't get their certified in with us, they can do that, both next gen and the vet tech individuals. The other is just to let you know that, I told you we teach for universities, and we started a program in October that was started by our COO, our Chief Operating Officer. His name is Joe Mitchell. And he is a great individual, always, forward thinking, and really trying to lift everybody up. As we say, we're trying to accelerate opportunity for everybody, whether they're, associated with the military or whether they're not. So non-vets and vets. But the thing is that if an individual, I named a majority of the schools that we teach for currently, let's say it's the University of Tampa, and an individual decides to take the course because they want to have AWS certified, and they pay for that. Well, once they've paid for that, we go to the school, and we've actually trademarked this, and it's called Upskill Together. And this is what our COO, Joe Mitchell, for lack of a better term, came up with. Okay, and anyway, we go to the school. We say, okay, one student has paid the full amount for AWS. Find us an underprivileged student at your university, and we will give them that same certification course for free. And we call that Upskill Together. And again, as they say, rising tide lifts all boats, right? And that's exactly what we're trying to do with individuals. We're trying to raise everybody up so that everybody can compete, in today's marketplace.
That's phenomenal. How many veterans have gone through your program already since you guys have started this program?
We've been in business since 2002, so we've been in business for 20 years. We started concentrating on veterans really heavily in as far as the training is concerned, is in 2018. And so I want to say it's 500
Wow.
off the top of my head. Like I said, this year we want to train upwards of 1,000. So, and every year we want that to go up at least 50%. So our goal, what happened is that there was a change in leadership at SkillStorm. The founders are still the founders, and they decided that they wanted to do this, as far as the veteran piece is concerned, and the recruit, train, and deploy model. And so they hired a whole new C-suite that came in, and they had experience in this model, and so did I. And so anyway, they hit the ground running, and then COVID hit, right, and just put the kibosh on everybody and everything for 12 to 18 months. But anyway, but what I mean by that, our CEO our COO, the two founders, our head of legal, by the way, is a prior enlisted Army medic. His name is Ben Matthews, and he's now Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force Reserve as a JAG. And our head of recruiting, of all of our recruiting, is a gentleman named Alan Cohealy. He is heavily involved in the vet tech program as far as recruiting, et cetera. And everybody at the firm has bought in on accelerating opportunity for veterans, and we really make veterans the epicenter of what we do.
That's great to hear.
And so it's not an afterthought. We're not doing this for public relations reasons and saying, "Oh, we're here to help vets," and we help 9 vets, and we go like, "Oh, look what we did this year." No, we want to help as many vets as we possibly can within the bandwidth that we can do. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to train 10,000 this year. I don't have the bandwidth to do that, but we've got enough trainers qualified and available to be able to teach 1,000.
That's great. That's going to be phenomenal to share. And they probably wouldn't have hired a guy like you if they didn't want to do that either. So, right. If I'm a community partner, so you said you had a lot of partners and clients that you partner with out there. Let's say, I'm a big company. I'm just learning about SkillStorm. How do I get in touch with you guys and become one of those partners?
Oh, that's easy. Just contact me. My email address is jtansill, TANSILL @skillstorm.com. And I'll get right back to you. To me, this isn't work. This isn't a job. This is, this is a passion. I work 7 days a week at it. I'm not going to tell you it's, 12 hours a day, but I am always looking at my phone. I'm always looking at my emails. I'm always, if I have a vet that reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I'm over here in Europe. I'm interested in the vet tech program," I sit down and type the individual back and answer right away. I wake up, look at the ceiling every morning. Thank God for that. And then I'm motivated to go to work because of, the fact of I get to help veterans, and even, helping vets excites me greatly. Helping everybody, even non-vets. I just love helping young people and people who never thought in the wildest dreams that they would be doing technology at a Fortune 500 company. That was they never thought that in a million years that they would be able to do that, and to be able to provide that for them. A lot of it obviously rests on their shoulders with all the hard work and obviously the aptitude, but that we gave them the opportunity, that we accelerated their opportunity to be able to do that. It just makes me want to do even more.
That's awesome to hear, John. I mean, when you look at all the experience that you bring to the table too, I mean, it's a guy like you I would have loved to have as a mentor. When I got out of the military, and I'm sure a lot of these other veterans are looking at that the same way as well. And I would just encourage, our vets that are watching this right now, reach out to John. If IT or technology is something that's piquing your interest and you fit the caliber of what John explained, reach out to him, and we're going to put the links to his information below too, so that you make it easy on you. But, when you got a program here that's done for you for free and they help you find a job with it, I mean, it's a no-brainer to take a serious look at something like this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. And then the other is we manage people's expectations. We're going to tell you if you're not a fit. We're going to make sure that you do the financial calculus, that you can afford it for your family before you make a mistake. Because the problem with making a mistake is, whether you're single or whether you have a family, is the fact that you're wasting time. Right? You don't want to. That's what's so great about the intro to coding for people that have never been in tech. Take it. You're going to find out whether you've got an aptitude for it you never knew you had before, or you're going to take it and go like, "Well, I have an aptitude for this, but I'd rather go get a root canal than do this." But find that out before you waste the time of going down a path where you could go learn something completely different, right? But if the aptitude is there and so is the passion, then absolutely reach out to me, because I want to help as many people as possible. And by the way, if I can't help you, I'm going to point you in the right direction, right? If you come to me and you go, look, I worked, in comms in the military, and I'm really good at hardware. Well, okay, well, we don't do hardware, but I'll try to find you the people that do.
Absolutely. John, hey man, I appreciate you coming on and sharing more about SkillStorm today, and certainly look forward to pushing some vets your way so that you can make a bit even bigger impact on our community.
Thanks so much, Brian. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the time and the opportunity.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this one, check out these videos right over here, and we'll see you in the next video.